Hello, it's layperson Lisa with a reflection on the readings for the first Sunday in Lent. Today's readings are about sin. And so today we can reflect on, so what are the effects of sin? Well, the first is that it darkens our intellect so that we cannot clearly make the right choice, that we are influenced by habits that we may have picked up, which are not virtues but vices, that we are influenced by these things and that we have trouble seeing that they are wrong. A lot of times we'll rationalize. I know sometimes for myself, I could start to rationalize, well, I did it because, but that doesn't make it right. It just means that I made a bad choice and I'm trying to rationalize and share, well, this is why I did it. But just wrong choices are still wrong choices. The other thing it does is it weakens our will. And the soul is comprised of the intellect and the will, and then the passions. And the intellect and the will are the higher, have the higher influence over our soul. And so when we darken our when we darken our intellect and weaken our will, then the passions can come bubbling up. And these passions, these emotions, these desires, these things that may excite us, those things can overpower our intellect and weaken our will so that we make these bad choices. And then we because of original sin, which we hear about in the first reading, we have a concupiscent nature, the nature to sin. So I came up with S.I.N as a way to fight sin. So S, sacrifice. This Lent, we can sacrifice our self-will, what we want to do, and ask God what He wants us to do. This can help us to temper those disordered passions, those disordered desires that are keeping us from a more full relationship with God. Because when we sin, it hurts our relationship with God. If it's a venial sin, it can hurt our relationship. But if it's a mortal sin, a more serious sin that we know is wrong and we do it anyway, that destroys justice or charity, then that severs our relationship with God, our friendship with Him. And so all sin causes God to weep. And when I look at it that way, I don't want to hurt God and make Him weep and destroy our friendship. I want to help realign my choices towards Him. And so I is intentionally reviewing our day, reflecting upon our day. Where was I? Where was there a time during the day that I was not who Jesus called me to be? How can I be more like Him in these situations? Because sometimes we do. We have situations that are very frustrating, situations that are very challenging, and we can sometimes lose our focus and kind of focus on justifying what our choices instead of being intentional. Like, okay, that's not who God called me to be in that situation. And then the last letter is N for need. We need Jesus. And that is the only one that we need, is Jesus. That He is our main squeeze, as I recently heard a priest describe our relationship with Jesus, which I absolutely love, that He is our main squeeze and that we are called to cling to Him in these times where we are tempted with sin, in these times where we are frustrated or in challenging situations, or where we're finding ourselves justifying or rationalizing choices. Jesus wants us to cling to Him because He is all that we need. And so this Lent, What sins are hurting your relationship with God? Where do you need to sacrifice, to be more intentional? And where do you need Him and you are not going to Him?